what are the trends that are going to reshape how artificial intelligence is going to be used starting from this year onwards, okay, from like 2025 onwards. And to tell a little bit about myself, I actually work as a AI architect for our company as is now. That's it for introductions. And like, let us jump on to the next slide. Okay. So we will discuss what is the state of 2021, right? When ChatGPT just came out. So like I would think of that as a floodgate moment. And that was the time when a lot of people in the public started speaking about artificial like intelligence, and it became very common. Like even before that, like a lot of researchers were building machine learning models, but there was no widespread conversation around the topic. So since 2021, a lot has changed, and we will see what is the status quo now, at the moment. So what is the status quo? What is today's reality? So we know that artificial intelligence is now a super duper important core component of businesses and public sector operations. So a lot of companies have already started using it to be able to automate how to deal with mail sent by customers, how to reach out to customers. And in the public sector industry, it's also being used as a bot for customer services, to do customer service kind of inquiries. So it has become very pervasive in the business and the public sector. So from 2025, so what is going to happen is artificial intelligence will be transforming how we make choices, right? What is it that we choose to do or do? It'll deal with that, and we will also be like using it to automate processes. So when we think of transforming how we make choices, you can think of like a company's owner, and he has his private artificial intelligence, and he has a conversation with it to be able to choose where he wants to expand into, like what markets he wants to go. To make all those choices, you can make use of artificial intelligence, so it helps with that process. And in terms of day-to-day activities of running a business, we can use it for doing that also. Yep. So that's the introduction of where it stands at the moment in the market. All right. Next, we will have a look at the roadmap for this presentation. So like, what is the story that we are going to like follow? And we will actually, like begin our journey by looking at five important trends in artificial intelligence. Okay. So the first trend is we'll be looking at agentic artificial intelligence. So what this essentially means is the artificial intelligence will be able to take a user's input, it'll be able to reason over it, make a plan over it, and it'll be able to take an action. Okay. So one good example of that is you want to travel to France. So you tell your artificial intelligence, I want to travel to France. I want to make plans for the trip. What it will do is it will find out the best hotels where you can stay. It will find out the costs, what are the places you can visit in France, and also it will make the bookings and send the information back to you with a travel plan itinerary. Okay, so that is what that is. Next thing we will be looking at is generative AI. So what generative AI means is it is able to make new content. Okay, you can use artificial intelligence to write a book, to draw a picture, and to do stuff like that. So it is able to make content. That is what generative AI means. Once we're done with generative AI, we will move to like multimodal AI. The name sounds complicated, but what it truly means is your artificial intelligence is able to read from multiple like media sources. Can read from text, pictures, sound, and it's able to have more of a context to be able to make decisions. So that is what multimodal artificial intelligence means. Then the next subject we will be looking at is the influence of artificial intelligence on your data. And actually this is a really cool topic. That's because it gives a voice to your data, and actually I've done some kind of experiments on this, and I would really like to share this with the audience. It's something really cool. The last thing we will be looking at is how do you combine artificial intelligence with process automation, right? So we run like businesses and we have some kinds of automations, right? If you get an email, you want to forward it to this person, or you want to do this, that. By using artificial intelligence, we can have a more like robust automation process. So that will be the last topic that will be covered. These would be the 5 trends, and if you want to remember them, you can use this small acronym. It's called magic. So I came up with this, and I'm super proud of it. So the M stands for multimodal, A stands for agentic AI, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be our roadmap, and these are the 5 topics we will be discussing over here. Okay, let's look at the first trend: agentic AI. The terms sound very complicated, but what does it actually mean? Okay, so what it means is, this is an autonomous system which is capable of like reasoning, to reason over something, to plan on it, and to act. Okay, and I will repeat the example I gave before. If you want to go to Paris, right, you can tell the artificial intelligence, hey, so I want to go to Paris, so give me a plan, and it will first take the sentence that you send, and it'll reason over it to understand what is it that the user wants. That is the reasoning part of it. So the planning part of it would be, it'll so now that it knows what you want, it'll start to plan. It'll go search websites, it'll find out which are the best sites you want to see in Paris, and then it'll plan which hotels are super close to where you want to go. It'll plan out the entire travel itinerary, and the final stage is acting. It'll send that over to you, so you as the user can use that to travel to Paris or US or like wherever you want to go to see what you want to see. That is what this does. Okay, that is what it means in a very simple sense. Okay, so what are the key places where this is used? We use this in the public sector, right? If you want to, if you have government processes, right? If you go to, yeah. So someone talking. Okay. So if you, okay, I thought someone was talking. Okay, let me get back. So some of the key areas where this is used is, you can think of the public sector, right? So you go to a government office and you have to fill out a form. So usually you'll have to go and find a human being and reach out to them if you have any doubts about filling the form. All those things can be taken care of automatically if you have a helpful artificial intelligence that is, seeing when you fill out the form. It'll be able to guide you. So there, the reasoning, planning, and acting is used, and also inside companies, inside enterprises, you can use it to automate internal processes. Okay. So which are the simplest, easy applications that you can use this for? One is password resets. So the thing is, if you work in an office, if you forget your password, you usually call someone on the phone and you say, "Hey, can you help me, reset my password?" But you can do those things much simpler by talking to your company's artificial intelligence, then it'll get the job done for you. And if you want to apply for leave, right, from your office, you can send vacation requests to this. It itself will send the emails to the respective parties, make sure that you get the authorization, and it'll send, like the authorization for the leave or a decline back to you. And the last thing is, you can use it for doing like user interface automations. And actually, this is super important, and I have like a demo on this. So I will show you like what happens in the demo. All right. So the next thing that we will see is a demo on how this particular trend is used now and how it will expand as we go like further down the line. So we will see how agentic AI is used for like UI automations. So let's go there. So what you will see here is a gentleman, and he has the task. He needs to take a lot of information from an Excel sheet, and he needs to fill it inside a website, okay, inside a form. But if he has to do all the 100 things, it will take a very long time. So he's going to make use of agentic AI, which will take his request, it'll reason over it, make a plan, and do the execution. That is what we will see in the demo, and I just wanted to set the context for that. All right, let's rock and roll.
Let's create an AI agent that reads all this Excel data and put it into the employee onboarding form one by one. I open up the Microsoft Power Automate desktop, which is a free Windows 11 application. Here I hit the AI recorder. Now I'm going to record my microphone and everything I do on the screen. Let's click next. Let's pick a screen and a microphone and hit record. Find the path to my desktop. then use the path to open this Excel file placed on my desktop. Read all the data and transfer it to this form. Transfer all the rows, and after each row, click the Submit Onboarding button. Then I click Done. Now Power Automate Desktop, the AI recorder, will analyze my mouse movement, everything I said in these 3 sentences, and then it will create a script. So let's fast forward. Here we go. Here we have the script, and it's really impressive because this would have taken me a lot of time to create manually, or I might not be able to. The beauty of it, let me maximize it here, is that we can reuse or even schedule it. Let's test it manually if we are satisfied with it. So I can just click Run here. Now you will see that it launches the Excel, and it will open up the web page, and now it will start to fill in the data that we requested. Here we go. Now it can fill in all the 50 rows. If you want to see a full demo, I created this video with all the new AI features in.
Yes. So as you can see from the demo, it's really awesome, right? So this man, he just showed an Excel file. Then he showed the form where he had to fill stuff up, gave a couple of verbal instructions. The AI took all of this, reasoned, made a plan, and acted on it. So that is the first trend, and I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's really cool. So, like, if we go more into the future, we will be heading into systems with multiple of these agents, right? They'll work together to accomplish more complex tasks. So that is the first trend, and it's really pretty awesome. All right. So the next trend we will look at is how do you use AI to make new things, draw new images? How do you make new content, right? It's called Gen AI. So what does Gen AI mean? It means you have an AI system which can make new content, maybe new text, new music, new images, and all that. So it all sounds fancy, right? But what does it mean in terms of our, like business? Where can we use this to maximize profit? How can we save on money and how we can get more profit? So these are the key areas where it will be used a lot. One is content creation, right? You can make diverse media types, and as time goes by, the we may even get like movies which are fully made by artificial intelligence. So that's because like the detail and like the realism of what gets generated will go up in time. So that is something very interesting to look forward to. So where can we use this in today's market and in the future? One is marketing. So I've actually gone to a lot of meetings and like met a lot of people, and they have been starting to use these things, especially Gen AI, for a lot of marketing, and especially in social media. If you have a social media, a company, or if you do more work on the social media space, maybe you run a Facebook page, you run an Instagram channel or YouTube, you can make a copy of yourself, right? By using artificial intelligence and have it appear on the screen and talk on your behalf. It is like you have like a copy of yourself in that world. So that's something really cool, and a few companies have started doing it. So I'm going to show a demo of a product where they're actually doing it, and it's really awesome. Okay, so we will see how Gen AI is used in marketing next. Let's go. Okay.
Write your script, choose your avatar, select a voice, and then watch the magic unfold.
So as you can see, what this lady said, she just told us to write a script. Then we choose a person, and then we choose a voice, and she says that we can use artificial intelligence to do our marketing. So we will see how that works next. All right. So let's continue with what she says.
Okay, pause. Before I show you 3 different AI-generated marketing videos for 3 of my clients, let me start from the beginning and explain. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany, and this is a series called AI Business Step by Step, where I show you how to make money using AI-generated marketing videos like the ones that I'm about to show you right now.
Okay, so she's made a couple of marketing videos, and we will have a look at like one of them. All right, I think it's example 3, and it's really cool. And like mind you, the entire thing is made by artificial intelligence, and that's really awesome.
To see which ones do the best.
So this client is also selling an AI service, which is similar to the service that I'm offering. He is helping people use AI videos to market their businesses. And so in this video, I've created another AI character who has a little backstory, and basically he's looking for a job. So here's this one.
I'm not real, in case you couldn't tell. Embarrassing, but I'm actually looking for a job right now. I'm an AI actor, and Hollywood's been tough. So while I'm waiting for my big break, I'm here to make social media marketing videos for your business. Drop a comment if you know anyone who could use some AI marketing help, or share this video with someone who could use me. Follow for more AI business tips and to support my journey getting a job.
So there's like a
Okay, so as you can see from this video, it looks super real. And if you think of the possibilities, like going into the future, they are tremendous, especially in the marketing space. All right, so that was trend 2, and I think that's also something really cool. Okay, now the next trend, right? Trend 3 is when we deal with the artificial intelligence, that is multimodal AI. So what does multimodal mean, right? What does this stand for? Multimodal means you have a system which is able to take data from multiple sources, make sense of it, so it has a richer context, okay? You'll have more context to be able to make accurate like choices. Okay, so that is what multimodal means. So a good example of that would be like even in our own human sense, right? We can think that we are reading a book, and this book is talking about a mountain. If we just read words about the mountain, you can say that the mountain is filled with trees, it has flowers and all. So our mind will come up with a picture. But if the book also has like a snapshot of what the mountain looks like, right? If you have a picture of the mountain and like the description, you have more of a context and you can know exactly what it is. So you can make a decision if you want to go to the mountain or not. So that is exactly the same thing that happens with multimodal AI. We have more context. We not only use text, we use images, we use sound, everything to build a bigger context. So AI can use it to make a decision. It helps with its like decision making. So like that is the key point of using multimodal AI. So what are the key areas where we use this multimodal AI thing? One is in data integration. Okay, if you combine different sources of data, you will of course get deeper insights, and then you can also use the deeper insights to make better choices, right? It's good for better decision making. And there are a wide range of applications for this. You can use it for like climate risk, to do risk assessments. And the next thing, which is the one that I really like, you can also use it for commerce, for shopping. If you have a customer and if you want to improve their like user experience, right? Then you can use this a lot. So that's a really cool video, and we will set like a premise for it first. Okay. So multimodal AI, how it can be used to make a decision. Let's have a look at that. So I will set the context for this one. So we have a problem statement. You have a house and now you want to pick up a piece of art for your house. How do I pick the best artwork for my room? That is the problem statement. Okay. So how do you go about doing that? Using multimodal AI. You have to give it input, right? So it needs input to work on. So we give it the following input data. We send it some images. We send it a picture of the living room where we stay, and we send 4 pieces of art for it to compare with our living room to make a decision which is the best one we can use. Sort of like an interior designer, one can say. But then we also, just giving the pictures is not enough. We also have to give a command, right? We have to tell it, here's what I want you to do. So we give a textual command telling the AI to give recommendations. So as you can see from this input data, we are dealing with two different kinds of media, right? One is images, one is text. Hence so this is like a multimodal scenario. So that's about it. And I just put a pictorial representation of what we are dealing with. We have a living room, picture of the living room. We have 4 pieces of art. Okay, so we will be asking the AI, hey, go and find me the best work of art that I can use in this living room so it looks good. So let's go and see how it happens. We'll go and see like a video demo of how that works. Okay, so I'll just jump to the exact part, where the demo happens. So let me jump over here. I think it might be loud. I'll reduce it to 50%. So let us go and see. I believe it was the third video. Okay.
Finally, let's consider an e-commerce use case. Say you have a furniture site and you would like users to upload pictures to get specific recommendations. With Gemini's ability to reason across multiple images, this is a real possibility. Start with a photo of a customer's living room. I'll also supply 4 possible pieces of art that the customer may be interested in. Now, I'll use Gemini to help the customer choose the best option. To get specific product recommendations, I'll ask Gemini 1.5 Pro to explain whether each piece of art would be appropriate for the style of the room. I'll also ask Gemini to rank each of the art pieces. I'll make sure to label each image within the prompt so Gemini has a reference when providing the final description. When I run this cell, you can see that Gemini provides thoughtful and well-reasoned feedback, taking the customer's room into consideration.
Okay, so according to this lady, she says that like Gemini was able to give like thoughtful explanations. So we will have a look to see if that is really the fact. Okay, first we will have a look to see like the ranking of how it has set up these art pieces. According to Gemini AI, it says the second piece of art, right? If you look at the very bottom of the screen, it says that is the best picture to use. And then number 2 would be the first piece of art, and the worst performer say among all of them is the piece of art number 4. So we will go back to the list and see if it makes sense. Okay, we will compare the room, compare these suggestions and see if it really made a big difference. Okay, so the first one it suggested was the piece of art number 2, and the worst one is piece of art number 4. So we go back in time, back over here, and we have a look. Does that make sense? And sure enough, what Gemini told us was the best piece of art for your room is this one, the second one. And that actually makes sense because it kind of, blends with the surrounding. If you put this piece on top of this room, it'll look pretty good. And the worst performer it said was 4, right? That makes sense. This has a lot of color. If you put this in this room, it'll really pop out. It'll really pop up and it won't blend well with the room. So you can see in this way, by using like multimodal AI, you use the prompt, you use the pictures, it is able to reason through them and give a very good suggestion. So, like this is a very important trend, and I can see this playing out in a lot of areas, even in defense, right? So we can make use of these things, but like that is a topic for another day. Cool. So I hope you're having fun till now. So we'll jump to the next one. Okay. This one, right? So like this one is really cool. Here we are going to study how artificial intelligence has an impact on your data. So if you think about data, right, just before ChatGPT came into the scene, most of us, when we think of data, we used to think about rows, columns in a SQL database table and stuff like that. When ChatGPT came into the scene, what happened was our focus moved to data which is unstructured, like just random text files or just images and videos. So we see a shift. We move from structured data in tables into unstructured data, and that has a huge impact. And here are some really cool things that we can do now. One is artificial intelligence makes your data super interesting, and I'll show you how in the next demo. Then it actually gives a voice to your data. Okay, it takes your data, it gives it a personality, and it makes it come to life. If you don't believe me, I will show you the next video where in the demo you will see it. Okay, now let us see how AI gives voice to your data. This is going to be a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. Okay, let's see. So hey there everyone, it's me Vichurch. So now I'm going to show a demo of how artificial intelligence can be used to work with unstructured data and bring like a lot of value. Okay, so I'm going to do this demo by using a product called as NotebookLM, which was made by Google. So this is another very interesting trend that's coming about, and I wanted to explore it more with you all. So how NotebookLM works is you will first have to go, you'll enter into NotebookLM and you can make a new notebook. Okay, you'll have to click this button to create a new notebook, and you'll get a new untitled notebook. So here what I will do is I will have to upload a file, and I'm going to upload a file that is not structured. Okay, so I'm basically going to upload my resume, and so you can see it is unstructured data, right? So it's got a lot of text and tables and all sorts of stuff. So it has no regular form, per se, but it has everything like scattered about. So I take this and I do an upload. Okay, I will upload the file from my drive. So here is the file. I will hit upload. So the thing is, when the file is uploaded, right? So we have an unstructured file. It's not got rows, columns like a SQL database, right? So we can ask some basic things to this file, like so like what is this document about, and we can have a conversation with the document that gets uploaded. This is just one part of the flow. So it says the document is about Vichurch Muthumani, an experienced AI architect, and his core skills and technologies and all, right? So all that is fine, but here's the really cool thing. Okay, this platform will be able to generate a podcast from the uploaded document, and it's as simple as hitting just generate over here. So generation will take some time, so we will wait and then we will come back once generation is done. Okay, so it looks like the generation is finally over, and now we will have like a listen to this podcast. Okay, so you can see that by doing this process.
All right, so welcome to another deep dive. You know how this works, right? You send us something super interesting, and then we like kind of dissect it and try to pull out all the juicy insights for you.
Yep, exactly.
So you can see that already it has taken the content of the resume which I fed in, and it's made a podcast out of it. Okay, so like we will see like what exactly it's able to tell about the resume in like a podcast fashion.
And today it's all about the world of AI, but like from a really practical standpoint.
Yeah, and AI is like the hot topic everywhere you look these days. But what we want to do today is like go beyond the hype.
Right. It's like everyone's talking about it, but like what does it actually look like to build these AI systems like in the real world?
Yep, totally. And to do that, we're going to take a deep dive into the professional profile of Vichurch Muthumani.
Yeah.
So here's the really cool thing. So it's even able to say my name correctly, and it's made a podcast which is 18 minutes long. Okay, so we'll just jump to like a different like part of the podcast and see where we land.
He's an AI architect, and his profile just like blew us away.
Yeah, I mean, the guy has done some seriously cool stuff. So we're going to unpack his experience, his skills, the projects he's worked on, and try to give you a clear picture of what it actually means to be an AI architect.
Okay, so that was the demo. I just got it shot. So as you can see here, right, this thing, it is able to breathe life into a normal resume, and it's able to give a personality to it, and it's actually able to make a full show around it. So this is something really cool. It is able to bring the life to a document. I found it was really cool, and I wanted to share it with you. So that is trend number 4. How AI is going to change data, how we see data, and how we deal with it. Last trend which I will be looking at is how AI can be used for low-code automation. So in the past, right, when we all used to do automation, we used to use stuff like UiPath or one of those things where you have to click, drag, and we have to set up each and every step of the process, right? So that some kind of automation takes place. Maybe you use it for testing with Selenium and stuff like that. But now with the power of AI, we are able to create a system which is more, which can handle things it has not seen before. So if you go to a new web page, the artificial intelligence should be able to automatically see the web page. It should be able to understand what it's dealing with and run tests, and it has to send the report back. So we can do that, but to do that, one way is to use low-code automation, which is to drag and drop different blocks to do actions with the power of AI. So I just wanted to show a product which is actually becoming quite popular now in our field, and it will be a good platform for us to mix with artificial intelligence to drive testing and automation in the future. Okay, so let me start the video.
N8N Cloud is a convenient hosted alternative to N8N, our flexible workflow automation tool. Our node-based approach was inspired by solutions in the VFX industry and empower you to automate sophisticated business processes. Let's check it out with a simple example.
Okay, so now he's going to play a lot of music, so I stopped it. Let me just lower the volume and see how the automation works, okay? Okay. So what we actually saw in the demo was this guy is filling out a form. It is able to automatically take the form, send an email, and it has a Slack integration that works. So how they accomplish all this stuff is through drag and drop. Okay. So far, what we've seen is just automation by using blocks. Now, I've seen a couple of people I met in the industry who started using artificial intelligence in this workflow to be able to do way more superb things. So that is something that is happening in the future. Like a lot of companies are coming up and things are really like blowing up now. So that was the last trend I wanted to share, and it's something very promising. People are making a lot of real money by like using this approach at the moment. All right. So we've seen a lot of trends. We've seen 5 of them. I hope some of them were new to you. And even if some of them were old, at least I hope it gave you an opportunity to open up your mind to see, so what are the things you can do with these things and how you can make profit and how you can drive your businesses. Okay. So now we will look at the paths to success with AI. So the first path which I learned through my experience meeting people was path one is to listen to your audience because they are your best consultants. Okay. So, most techie people, we work in a silo and we don't know what the market wants. By going and moving with people who use these tools, we get a better appreciation of what they need. So it is important to listen to your audience. So that was the first key takeaway which I learned from my life. The second one is build fast by using existing tools. That's because this field is a very fast moving field. You may start a startup with a good idea, but when Microsoft is going to have its next expo, it will make a side project which will take out your entire company. So it's always important to build fast with existing tools, and most importantly, time to market will win over deep technical stacks. If you want to make money, you have to move fast. Use existing tools and you have to market your stuff fast. Okay. So that is the next learning which I got from the industry. The last one is if you're not interested in making money quickly and if you want to do things on your own, right? If you want to start a Tesla or a SpaceX, that is the long game. So that is part 3. Okay. So part 3 is you have to focus on the long game. You build the entire tech stack and you make advanced AI systems with full control over the intellectual property. You do this if you want to change the world, but it's a very long process. And here we're talking about the likes of SpaceX and Tesla, where they do the hard engineering stuff. So these are the 3 parts which I learned from my personal experience, which you could use if you run a business and if you want to make money and really, profit in this world of AI. So I'll stop talking now. I think I spoke too much. So thank you very much for your time. And now we will open up to the audience. If you have anything, feel free to ask me. And we can have like a vibrant discussion, hopefully. Thanks.
Hi, Richard.
Hello. Who's this?
My name is Vamsi. Like
Nice to meet
this was a very good presentation, like webinar. Like I
Thank
just have one question. Like, what are the current industries which are getting most benefits from the AI industry?
That is a very good question, Vamsi. Actually, I've done a lot of, scouting on this and small and medium businesses, right? At least here in the States, small and medium businesses are actually like benefiting a lot from process automation. So like drag and drop tools, right? From Trend5 that I showed you, right? The logical
Yes.
tools. They combine that with the power of artificial intelligence to do a whole lot of things. Actually, today, you won't believe it. I was talking with a guy, like one of the guys in my circle. He was able to snag a very big client. It's called Lifetime Fitness. It's a gym in the US. He is now helping the gym to automate all their sales processes. So sales and marketing, right? They have these robocallers that call, like customers and sell products to them, like a gym workout plan or like special classes, right? So in that area, right, it's very useful. Here we're talking about a big company, but there are other lots of smaller companies that want to do some kind of automation, right? For their marketing needs, or if they want to make social media, right? We have a lot of these people on Instagram who are making reels and all sorts of content. So they can actually do more work by having these profiles, right? Um, if they use artificial intelligence, which is going to scan them completely and make a virtual copy of them, they can use the copies to do the work for them. So a lot of stuff is happening in that space, in the marketing space, and in the space of doing all sorts of process automations. So yeah, you're right. So small medium businesses are benefiting too, and like big businesses, like this gyms, right? I'm not talking about tech companies. Like gyms and other places, they are actually like taking on all these new technologies to see how they can change the way that they do business and how they can cut costs. It's making a huge impact. And so, like this guy I met, he's actually got a very big contract, and everybody was super happy for him and also surprised. Yeah. So, thank you for that question. I hope I answered it for you, or at least gave
Yes.
some
I
decent.
have one question.
Yes.
Mandeep this side.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to know like how it will impact the ERP market. Okay, we have Workday, SAP, Oracle, ERPs, right? How it impact that, and as a consultant or a developer for these integration and all that kind of stuff, how I can prepare myself for that? I mean, do I have to learn AI for that, or how
Uh,
it will be?
there are different ways to approach it, and it's a very good question that you asked me. So like one of the things I really learned, right, by talking with people who use these things who are not technical. So these are
Mhm.
people who just started using these tools. They all went to this common theme. Sometimes they use these tools as a separate silo. So you saw that notebook LLM I showed you, right? They
Yep.
use to create presentations and other stuff. And once they know the tools, what they do is they go to this low code environment thing where they drag and drop the tools and they link them up to be then they use that to do their work. It actually helps them to do their work, harder and faster. So deep knowledge of artificial intelligence is something you could have, but from my experience, right, and this was really surprising, more money is made by those who don't need to be too much invested in it. It is a matter of abstracting away the details,
Mm.
seeing the big picture, and how fast you can have these things combined together to add value, right? So at the end of the day, technology is just for value. It may
Yep.
be complicated inside, but we don't care. We abstract away, we roll it all back, look at it, and see. So I want to make this value. So what are the tools I can mix and match from this big recipe of mine to add value? So that is the kind of thinking you should approach it with. So people from a non-tech background are surprisingly much better to get the value out of it than technical people. So yeah. So like my advice to you would be you can start with like the low code stuff, right? Like dragging and dropping stuff, and you learn all these different things. So from the video I presented, I'm sure you would have learned about Notebook LM and the other tool where they make a copy of themselves to give marketing presentations, right? These are powerful things you can take right now. You can use it and make a business out of it. So yeah, that would
Okay.
be what I would say. I hope it answers your question, or at least it has opened your mind to new possibilities. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
no problem. Thank you.
Hi,
Hey, hi,
I
this is
have a
Sachin.
question.
Yes, Venkat. It's Venkat.
Hi,
Hi.
this is Sachin. Yeah,
Hmm.
sorry, someone else is actually trying to
Oh,
ask.
okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, hi. It's a very nice presentation and a lot of insights.
Oh,
I'm
thank you.
really interested to. I've gathered some of the cases that really were useful, guy. And see, it's not a question, but it's more like I just want to find out from you. See, we have this low code, no code platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
So really disrupting out systems is one of the major player, and you have jury as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing a comparison, okay, with AI. See, AI also primarily it's helping in covering or building up the apps, or I mean, we can say it's easing out the solution development, right?
Yes.
So, and parallelly, if we again think on the low code platform also now, so it also does the same thing, but it also covering the enterprise solutions as well. So, how do you see? See, these are two parallel tracks. as per my observation. Uh, as per your insights, how do you think like these two are these two parallelly moving, or is there a path where these two will merge, and is there a scope like the low code no code stuff will wind off and AI will actually overtake it? I just wanted to hear from you. It's nothing.
Okay, that is a very good thing. And I can only give you, from my experience, right, from the people I interact with. I met a few business owners who run companies that combine both,
Yes.
and they're actually like deriving tremendous value out of it. So one good thing is, if you look at the low code stuff, right, it does fixed actions, which are very important. At the moment, our artificial intelligence is such that sometimes it makes some choices that are not in line with what we want, right? So from my point of view, at least for now, we will be in a reality where both will work together. I think 2, 3, 4 years down the line, we might get rid of the low code no code stuff and go fully into agents who will be able to do work completely on their own. If you give them whatever new problem you give them, they should be able to take it up and do the automation and do the interaction with the various systems and get things done. So that is the future state, and all companies are working towards that. But for the foreseeable future, right? At least let's say 2, 3 years, we have a window where we can really hit this and make money. So the big companies like Microsoft, X, they'll all come up with very smart agents, which will start doing all this in the future. So I would say the time window might be just 2 to 3 years when we can actually capitalize on this for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have an add-on question. Please don't mind.
No
It's
worries.
coming from the business perspective.
Mhm.
See, because so recently I met one of the founders of an organization, Hyderabad. So we were having some discussion on this generative AI and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So we were discussing on how on practice building from AI perspective. So so he was actually sharing his insights. So especially for building up a practice on the AI scale, right, to scale up the AI space. So how
Mhm.
do you see? Again, I just wanted to hear from you since you will be speaking. You might have spoken to different guys over there, right? So what kind of roles you observe, especially in the AI space, uh, from a practice building perspective for an organization? For example, prior to me, before you answer, right? For example, in the workday space, let us say issue, we have roles for a security guy, we have a junior level guy who can actually assist, and we have an integration consultant, architect, like that. So from
Mhm.
the AI perspective, right? What are especially from the practice building perspective, what kind of roles you foresee or available? Because that's a from business perspective, this is very will be very helpful if you can share your, it's only you can share your thoughts, and rest I'm trying to
Okay.
do a lot of research on that stuff as well.
From the practice building, actually, the word practice building is kind of new to me. So,
No, it's,
if
it's very simple. The way I was telling, for example, if you want to build a data practice, right, in an organization, any
Mhm.
organization. So we have data scientists, we have data architects, and we have ETL guys. Okay, so that's the practice which actually aligns to the data. Similarly, earlier we used to have big data guys, right? Where we have used to big data is like now how AI is actually, I mean, disrupting the space, right? Earlier,
Mhm.
probably 5 to 6 years back, we used to see big data, right? How to open
Mhm.
all that stuff. So many people started building up their practice exclusively on the big data space. So they used to have data engineers. Then data engineer jobs started blossoming, and Python scripters came into picture. So
Mhm.
that's how people try to major organizations. For example, if you take
Mhm.
Accenture or Deloitte or other ISVs, they started building up those roles.
Mhm.
Similarly, AI space, it's just an example. In the
Mhm.
AI space, oh, see, anyhow, you are an AI architect, so
Yes.
that's one of the role.
Mhm.
Similarly, you can actually scale down what roles might be there and scale up and see what. So this is actually what the pipeline comes for the practice perspective.
Okay,
So
I
it's just
understand.
the
So you
knowledge.
want, okay, I get it. So you want to
Yeah,
know what are the kinds of roles that would be more
roles. Yes, yes,
dominant? Okay.
yeah.
Now, this is really cool because from what I've seen, people who have embraced this technology, right? They have moved into a different mindset. They always think of a product mindset. So they think of the big picture and they build systems. So building systems, right? That is going to be a very important skill. So that would be like a top thing. You can call it AI architect, or you can call it a designer, basically, right? He's the guy who designs the cool thing. Then the next level, I would say, would be some kind of implementers. So people who can write code in Python, who will be able to talk with these models and who will be able to put things together. They would form the next tier. So we can call them programmers or developers. Let's call them programmers or developers. This is one silo. However, there's another interesting track that I got exposed to now, which is where all these low code, no code like platform people exist. They know how to, their job is to find out what is the latest and the greatest stuff out there, right? We got like so like DeepSeek came out recently. China came out with like Manus AI and all those things, right? These people have a very different mindset. They learn all the tools out in the market. They are the tool experts, and they take it and they export it into this no code platform to build fast value. That is a very different track that has come up, and there's a lot of people who are like taking on to that. So from my experience and from talking with people, so these are the things I see. One, you'll have the architect, he will have to design the full system. Then you'll have the implementer who will be a developer, and then on the other parallel track you have people who are super experts with like low code no code stuff, who are able to put all these tools together and build like systems. So it is like a difference in thinking. There are two different paradigms. You go through the code route or you go through the low code route, and see which delivers value, and see if both can deliver the same value, or if one is able to deliver like value faster and time to market if it's able to save versus the other. So from my point of view, I can think of that. You have the architects, you have the developers, and also you may have people who need to go and talk about these things, right? So they can talk about these technologies and help people out. So they're like those tech evangelists, right? So I can see those things like come up.
Thanks,
And to
man.
be, yeah, and to be honest with you, that's all I can say for now. So it's a fast developing field, right? So from my experience, this is the only input I will be able to like offer you. Hope it makes
Thank you.
sense. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
No worries. Yeah.
Hi, may I proceed to ask a question?
Yeah. Please do. Please do.
Hi. So, in your earlier conversation with one of the teammates, I have heard you telling about how the sales and marketing are being automated through AI, and it's a really good thing. But one negative point that I have observed about it is I stay in United States and I receive a lot of spam and scam calls. And
Oh,
the moment I
okay.
answer the call, an AI generated tone qualifies and checks if you're eligible to be scammed or not. That's the funny part. And
Oh, I
then
see. Yeah.
proceeds the call to a human, and he then says that he is from an insurance company or whatever, and tries to steal money from you. Being an architect, do you think there is a checkpoint or a kind of security check that could be included in future to see if anything that is related to AI is being put to proper use, or if it is being put to, in this kind of activities? So, is there anything that's going to stop it from getting into the bad hands or getting onto the negative side, or is it completely personal?
That is a very good question. And the funny thing, this goes back, so it goes back to history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you think of technology, right, if it goes into the right hands, we can do tons of good. If it goes into the wrong hands, it completely can ruin the world, right? Like
True,
even
exactly.
fire can be used to warm you, or fire can be used to burn buildings and take over countries. So
Yeah.
ultimately falls into the hands of the persons. However, there is one thing we can do though. And that one precious thing is we can always teach people, right? The next
Mm-hmm.
generation of people who have a likelihood of being scammed,
Mm-hmm.
what scamsters will do. They all follow a general pattern, right? They'll first
Mm-hmm.
call you and they'll put you in some kind of a time constraint. That is the usual play. And then they
Exactly.
will try to, when your mind is disturbed, they'll try to do what they need to do. So we need to just inform people and get those things sorted out. So things are only going to get more complicated in the future, right? Now with
Mm-hmm.
fakes which are really good, they're going to get much better over time. It'll be very difficult for us to be able to differentiate. So we need to teach people to be careful about these things, and I guess that is one way where we can stop it. From a coding perspective, right? I met a couple of like people in the security sector, and security is not what I'm an expert in. So they look for patterns in data. If you have a conversation with a bot right on the phone,
Yep.
so there are some signals or vectors that we humans can't perceive, but
Mm-hmm.
other artificial intelligence is able to dissect this and know, like based on the dissected information and the signals, right, the vectors, it's able to like figure out whether it's a real human or not. So we can set
Got
up
it.
such systems to be able to find out whether true human is there or a fake. So that's a very interesting area. I think it'll go into the realms of like cybersecurity and such. Yeah, the thing is, I'm not an expert in that. I'm more of a business type of guy, so I
Yeah.
can't talk more about that. But it's it's a very promising field, and a lot of things can happen, man. And speaking of which, right, you think of viruses now, right? So now
Mhm.
they're mostly logic driven. Imagine a virus that uses artificial intelligence. It is able to change its behavior and move and navigate, right?
That's
So
scary. Yeah.
that's scary, and so many interesting things can happen in the future. So it's going to be a lot of you know
Yeah.
fun in a way.
And
Yeah.
one thing is like, do you think it is absolutely necessary to include AI in every aspect? Because like we recently see that X has got Grok AI for itself, and do you think it's just a buzzword and companies are following it and including AI wherever if it is necessary or not, or do you think it is absolutely necessary going forward?
That depends on what kind of company we are dealing with, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
also depends on the budget of the company. If you think about it, there are a few small things, right? Small scale things where companies can get benefit, like maybe automation inside the office and all. But the bigger investments, right? That will
Mm-hmm.
be decided by the market. Now we are all slowly adopting the technology. There may be some domains where we don't need this at all, right?
True.
That
Mm-hmm.
only time will tell. We should always have an open mind and not assume that we need AI all the time or we don't need AI. So it's
Right.
always to go in the middle ground, and ultimately it's the market, right? Ultimately
Mm-hmm.
the market is what is going to dictate supply and demand. So only time will tell. But I can envision a future where all companies will have an agent, and these agents will talk like between companies, okay, and make decisions. Of course we humans can observe. It's not like we give them free reign over the world, but I think those interesting things can happen in the future, where
True.
entire companies and departments can have these agents talk and work with each other and collaborate.
Right.
The
Got it.
future is out there, man. It's just a matter of seeing where it will take us and how many checks and balances we as humans need to put to make sure that we are the ones who make it on top, right?
We make it. Yeah. We
Yeah.
control it. Yeah. True.
That's a very good question, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really like.
That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Hi,
All right.
Hey,
Vijay.
Yes.
This is Shailendra. Just adding on to the point that we just discussed, right? In terms of how do you foresee or envision. But what about industries where they have strict regulatory frameworks or they have pretty tight compliance, like healthcare or finance? How do
That's
you,
interesting. Mhm.
yeah, how do you foresee that kind of an integration with AI?
Yes. So that here too, I met some people who are doing like research on that. When you deal with the compliance, right? We need to be able. The important thing is like traceability. When an answer is generated by an AI, we need to know how it generates the answer, right? So we need to put in checks and balances in place, especially in like the response generation space. So like knowledge graphs is one thing that most companies are slowly adopting. That helps us to have a traceability on what is said by the AI, where it's getting the data,
Mhm.
and if it is logical, and also like a lot of logging is required, right? Each and every step of it has to be observed, and the logs have to be generated. So those things we can use to make sure that things are going as expected, and it also depends on the standards, what the like what the different like like companies are going to set as standards. So now in the research space, there are people who are doing some work with knowledge graphs and using stuff like ontologies to be able to logically dissect and make sure the artificial intelligence does the logical thing and not go into its own path, right? So all those
Yeah.
checks and balances are slowly being done, And I know a few people, I talk with them, they do a lot of research in that. But yeah, so to do compliance and traceability, like those technologies have to come in. How
Correct.
the data is regulated, how each action is taken, how can it be traced back logically? And so full traceability, every step needs to be recorded. So those things will come in the future, and I'm sure governments will set the standard, and like we will have to comply with it, and that especially in healthcare. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But I don't think even JP Morgan or any other finance companies, right? They've kind of adopted to the AI culture. Not yet, right? Nothing yet.
I see. Yeah, slow to adopt sometimes it's also good instead of jumping in. I
Yeah.
think the small and medium businesses are like small boats, right? They can navigate quickly. Big
Correct.
companies are like steamships, so they would take
Yeah.
a while to change direction. So all the experimentation and all the growth and all the trying and failing fast and succeeding fast is going to happen in the small medium space, and that should hopefully set the narrative for the bigger things to come.
Got it. Got it. Thanks. Thanks, Bachchan.
No problem. Yeah. All right. So any other questions, or are we good? Okay.
Yep, sorry, I have one question.
Yes,
Uh,
Puneet. Yeah.
So recently you would have heard about this IndusInd Bank issue, right? If you are staying in India, you would have known this. Like they cooked up the books. So what they did, they usually trade with stocks, and if they make profit, they'll show in the books. If they make loss, they'll cook up their books and they'll keep it aside. And recently there was a correction of around 2,000 crores. It's a big news here.
Oh, I
So
see.
how
I didn't know
do
that. Yeah.
AI could fix this kind of issues? It's a major market correction within this bank.
Oh, I see. One thing I would say is it's like good with pattern detection. So whenever these changes happen, is there a historical trend? Or the thing is, if there is a way to track the history of the transactions, right? If there's a sudden change or something, we can use it to flag anomalies. But from my point of view, I don't think I'll be able to answer it. There are some cybersecurity guys who will be much more, say, attuned with this, man. So I'm not sure how I can help you. But yeah, we could use AI for that for sure, because it's very good with pattern recognition. If you send the right signals, right? If it can track the signals and know if something is off from what is norm, maybe that can be used to take care of these things. But personally, from my limited knowledge of the space, I don't know if I'd be able to give a more concrete answer. I'm sorry, man. I hope it's okay. Thank you. Yeah. So it looks like we have 3 more minutes left. So my moderator told me 3 more minutes left. So that's it. So and one thing is, I want to thank you all for showing up and asking all these questions. So that shows that people liked. So that shows at least people got some value out of this presentation, and I hope it opened your minds. All right. So thank you very much, and yeah, that's it. So I'll ask the moderator. So moderator, so can we close the meeting or what? Okay.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. It was very informative and very nice session. Thank you so much. And thanks for everyone for joining this.
All right. Take care. Huh? Have a good day, everybody.
You too, Bachchan. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you all.